Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Good Dirt Podcast for the first of 4 bonus episodes that we'll be offering weekly during our 2022 Slow Living Challenge.
For those of you who've already signed up, you've received your first weekly calendar. And if you haven't signed up, it's easy to do so. Just go to www.ladyfarmer.com/slowlivingchallenge or follow the link in the show notes of this episode.
Once you sign up, you'll get a weekly email with the main theme for the week and a simple daily prompt to help you slow down, be more present, get a new perspective, or connect with nature, that sort of thing.
These prompts aren't created to take up a bunch of your time. In most cases, they don't take up any time at all. They're just a shift in their attitude or point of view. This week, the main theme is to create a daily slow living practice. But don't worry, we're not suggesting an hour of yoga or an hour of journaling or anything like that.
Yeah, by slow living practice, we really just mean something simple, like choosing an affirmation to say to yourself when you wake up every day, or adding in a few seconds of deep breathing. You'd be surprised how much even just a few seconds of deep breathing can really bring you into the present moment. It can be a quick prayer. It can be a couple of yoga stretches.
And of course, if you want to take more time with a morning grounding routine, that's fine. It's just that you don't have to do something so structured or time-consuming to shift into a more present state of mind. And some people won't even make the attempt because they feel hesitant to add a daily task. So then they just don't do it. We all know how many blogs and Instagram posts and so forth will tell us, you need to do this in the morning or do this to start your day or all these exercises. But it could really be just as simple as taking a few conscious stretches or staring out the window for a moment.
I really love the staring out the window exercise. The point is that it doesn't really matter what you're doing or how long it takes, but it's just adding a practice of bringing your awareness to the present moment, however briefly that is, just to touch base with you and yourself at the start of every day. So, what would you say has been a daily slow living practice for you, Mom?
Well, I do meditate for a few minutes every morning, and I've done this for so many years that it's not even a question of will I do it today or will I not. I just do it, but I also consider sitting down quietly with that first cup of coffee to be a slow living practice. That sensory experience of the warmth, the aroma, being comfortable and relaxed, noticing the flavor. To me, that's a transition between being at rest and moving into whatever it is that my day's going to be. I also make it a priority to get outside every day and be immersed in whatever is happening out there, to be connected with the season, whichever one it is. Even in bad weather, when I think I don't want to do it, I'm nearly always glad I did. Anyway, what do you do that you would call a slow living practice every day or most days?
It actually sounds a lot like what you do. I do not meditate every day, but I do try to take that moment with my coffee in the morning. It's necessary for many reasons to wake up my brain and also be present. I also like to spend a few moments with my dog. Animals are the best for being present. If you're having any trouble sort of with this whole slow living idea, slowing down, I promise you it's just as simple as if you have a pet, cat or a dog or anything, being with an animal, because that's nature, right? And if you don't have an animal, the staring out the window at a tree or any piece of nature works too. It's amazing to just notice the seasons and notice the little changes every day.
And speaking of being connected with the seasons, today actually marks a significant seasonal transition. It's Imbolc, the cross-quarter day between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. So we are at this point officially halfway through winter. And it's also the eve of St. Bridget, the celebrated Celtic goddess and Irish saint who embodies so much of the lady farmer archetype.
So tell us a little bit about how Bridget is related to the Cailleach, the winter goddess from ancient folklore.
Yeah, well, legend has it that the Cailleach, an old woman who roams the frozen landscape and represents death, or the winter hag, as she's sometimes referred to, she goes to drink from the magic well on this day and is then transformed into the youthful Bridget, who's the personification of life returning to the land and spring.
Isn't there also a legend about Bridget's cloak, something that's supposed to happen tonight.
Oh, yeah. The story goes that if you take a piece of cloth and you set it outside overnight on the eve of St. Bridget, which is tonight, she will pass by your house and bless the cloth with the powers of healing and protection for your household in the year to come.
So, everyone listening, don't forget to put your cloth out tonight to observe this lovely tradition. And if you want to know more about Bridget, the goddess and the saint, we love her. We're huge Bridget fans at Lady Farmer. We even named our overalls from our essential collection after Bridget. So we did do an entire episode on her last year, right at this time, with Kathy Spar, who is a spiritual director and has done a ton of work around Celtic tradition and spirituality. She teaches and she does a lot of research. And on our podcast, she shared a lot about the history and folklore surrounding Bridget. And we love talking about Bridget, as I said. She's quintessential Lady Farmer. So we'll have that episode linked in the show notes for anyone who wants to go a little bit deeper into that. This time, this sort of late winter, it's not really early spring yet. It's a cross quarter day, so it feels like we're on the cusp of something. And Bridget is quite literally just represents the threshold and transitions. So
yes, she's the goddess of the threshold.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. So, and it's hard to believe that it's already been a year since we had that conversation.
I know, it's so crazy. So back to the Slow Living Challenge and what we've got going on this week in the Slow Living Challenge. We talked a little bit about what we do generally day to day, but I wonder, Mom, if in honor of the challenge, if there's something that you're thinking you might add into your daily slow living practice?
Well, yeah, I think there is. As I said earlier, I make it a priority to be outside every day. And most of the time that means I'm taking a long walk or I'm working in the garden when it's warmer weather. I'm moving around a lot. But one thing I'd like to do more of, I think, is just to take a moment to sit in the sun when it's out. Like find a sunny window if it's really cold out. And I'm not going to be outside on a really cold morning, but if I can find a sunny window to sit in for a moment, or when it gets warmer to go out and be in the morning sun and just take a minute or two to kind of linger there. I think lingering is in itself kind of a slow living practice, something we're inclined not to do, always thinking you need to go on to the next thing. But it's also that time of year when I start craving sunshine, and there hasn't been much of it lately, so I guess that's why I'm thinking about that. So
Yeah.
Is there something that you think you might like to add to your slow living practices?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this. You know, in addition to my coffee in the morning, sitting with my dog and making sure I get outside for a daily walk, I try to be regular with my writing in the morning, at least journaling a little bit. And I have not been super regular about that lately. It's been a while since I've written. And so while in general, I find that like journaling every morning can feel like one of those like unsustainable habits, kind of what you were talking about earlier.
To do.
Yeah. So I don't want it to be that. But I think I'm going to take these next 4 weeks as an opportunity to intentionally add that back in and to make the space for that and just see even just what that does.
Yeah.
You know, for that concentrated.
What might make that easier is you could say, I'm going to write for 5 minutes, or
Right. Like set a timer.
just make it really attainable in terms of time.
Yeah. Or I'm going to write 3 sentences or a haiku.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for all of you that have joined our Slow Living Challenge this week, or even if you're just now getting started, we hope that this helps clarify for you what we mean by incorporating some sort of consistent slow living practice into your day. And then, of course, there are the daily prompts that we offer on the free calendar that you get when you sign up. And these are meant to just deepen your experience of this journey we're on together.
Yeah, so if you haven't joined yet, you can go to www.ladyfarmer.com/slow living challenge. And we'll link it in the show notes to this as well. And we're so excited, especially to have you share about your experience on Instagram, if that's a platform that you use. If you're not on social media, we love to hear from you guys. You can write to thegooddirtpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're a member in the Almanac, we will definitely be sharing about our experiences on that platform. And then we're really excited to share some stories on the podcast as well.
Yeah.
So it's a community event for sure.
Yeah, I just can't wait to hear some of your all's stories and experiences of this. And like we said earlier, we're going to bring him here onto the podcast. So here's wishing all of you the blessings of Imbolc on this eve of St. Bridget as we begin the slow turn towards spring. It really is a momentous time.
It is. I can't believe it. I can't believe we're already on our way out of winter.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys on Friday.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.